minutes when you wait for your coffee are the longest 4 minutes of the day. To be completely honest, I never really felt at home in Berlin. And it's not Berlin's fault. Berlin is a wonderful city and so many people come here and they never leave again because they fall in love with the city. But for me, it's just not right. David and I have been living here now for, what, 2.5 years? And we are really ready to move on. It's time to leave the country again. It's not Berlin, it's me. Berlin is actually a really brilliant city and I've had a lot of fun here. It's just not the place that I want to call home. There are a lot of good things I can say about Berlin. There's so much stuff going on here. There's so many like immigrants coming here with ideas. It's like a hotspot of creativity. People look really modern and cool, so you can do some really good people watching, and just the events and just the feeling of stuff going on. It's a really good, vibrant city. The number one reason why I don't feel 100% at home in Berlin is the atmosphere. Berlin is notorious among Germans for being like the rude city in the country. And to be completely honest, that's not really my style. I like things to be a bit more mellow and polite, and it kind of rubs off on you a little bit. So Berlin Jenny is way more rude than Stockholm Jenny or London Jenny is, and I really don't like that. So Berlin, I'm leaving, yeah. So where are we moving then? Well, as I see it, there are like 4 major world cities in the world, and we want to move up. We want to move to something bigger. So we want to move to one of those centers, like cultural centers, and the 4 cities that I can think of are New York, LA, London and Tokyo. Out of those 4 cities, for David and me, Tokyo and London are definitely the most interesting ones. So for the last few months, we have been going back and forth. I mean, those of you who listen to our podcast knows that we've been debating this over and over again. We have finally decided which of the 2 cities we're gonna move to next. And that city is London. Yes, that's right. We are going back to the mothership. A lot of you guys already know that David and I used to live there from 2010 to 2014, and we really loved it. That being said, we love Tokyo just as much, and we feel so home in Tokyo. What made us finally go for London? 2 reasons. Language, goes without saying, and one thing I like to call the grasshopper concept.
What's the grasshopper concept, Jenny?
Well, you know how grasshoppers come, like locusts, they come, they eat, they devour, and then they leave, and it's like they leave a barren land after they've just like eaten everything.
Is that what you do?
I tend to do that, yes, with cities. You know, I go somewhere, I suck the life out of it until I start to not like it anymore, and then I move on to the next place. And since I really loved Tokyo so much when we were there visiting this summer, I felt like I kind of don't want to grasshop the shit out of Tokyo. I want Tokyo to stay green, lush, rich. I don't want to suck the life out of Tokyo and start to dislike it. Because, you know, whenever you live somewhere and it becomes everyday life, you do start to see the cracks in the surface. You start to see the bad sides of a place. So yeah. Here's our idea. To be able to feel good about moving back to London instead of Tokyo, it is mandatory for us to go back to Tokyo every year to visit. So we will have Tokyo as our second home. And that makes London feel so much better to move to, because we will get 2 cities for the price of 1. Well, not for the price of 1, it's going to be hella expensive.
For the price of 50 cities.
Oh, Berlin is going to feel like a cheap haven after we start spending time in Tokyo and London again. There is a risk though when moving back to London. It's another concept that I like to call the ex-boyfriend concept. And that basically is, you know, when you have an ex-boyfriend, you really loved him, but he wasn't right for you. Then a couple of years pass, you saw him at a party or something, and you start thinking, maybe getting back together wouldn't be such a bad idea. I really liked him and he's such a nice guy. And then after just 2 more dates, you realize, there was a reason why we broke up, wasn't there? So I'm afraid that we're gonna move to London, and after a week or 2 we're gonna be like, what the fuck have we done? We don't belong here. That's a risk I'm gonna have to take though. There's only one way to remedy this, I think, and that is to, like, when we come to London, really start seeing it as a new city, not the city that we used to live in before, and go in with totally open new eyes and give London really a new chance. Whenever we move to a new place or just go on a long trip or something, David and I always check out books and TV and movies from that place to really get into the atmosphere. I'm such an atmosphere person, and I really just love watching movies from a place that I'm gonna visit, because it kind of gets me in the mood. So now guys, I want your help. I want to know what your favorite London movie is, your favorite London TV series is, your favorite London books, all of that good stuff. For me, for example, I really like Notes on a Scandal and Matchpoint, two really good London movies. I also like Killing Eve, really good TV show that we've been watching lately. And Mrs. Dalloway is one of my favorite books, Virginia Woolf. It's such a good book, so I recommend you reading that. But now tell me yours. I really want good tips on London-based movies or series or whatever. Also, other influences, because like watching vlogs or something or seeing someone's Instagram from a city, that kind of makes it more real. So if you know any London-based influencers, do let me know. I like Lizzie Hadfield, such a gorgeous woman. Check her out on Instagram and YouTube. Ooh, and another thing I want to ask you guys is, how would you feel about being an intern for the Mustards? Yes, that's right. We are looking for London-based interns. So if you are interested and you think it would be cool to hang out with David and me IRL, do let me know. There's a link in the description. Hey, can I also say a really big thank you to you guys? You know, I change my mind all the bloody time. I change my mind so often, and you guys stick around with me. I cannot thank you enough for that. And also just having always your encouraging, kind words really pushes me and makes me feel much more comfortable to take the next step and really be more daring and, you know, push myself harder. So a big thank you for that. And I just want to, you know, share with you how excited I am about this, because now I can't think about anything else. We're thinking of moving in like after New Year's, kind of like February or March probably. So it's just a few months left now in Berlin, and I can't wait. One of my favorite feelings in the world is that newly moved in feeling. You know, when you come in, you grab all your stuff, the mover guys leave, and it's just like me and David. We have this tradition whenever we move into a new place is to like order a takeaway, open a bottle of cheap wine and sit on the floor, because you know all the furniture and stuff are in boxes everywhere, and just like watch The Firm, that really amazing 90s thriller movie, and just like feel like, you know, it's a clean slate. We can make whatever we want out of this life because we're in a new place, nobody knows us, we can reinvent ourselves and become more the people that we want to be. So I really love moving, and I think it's really healthy to move, because I think that starting over is such a romantic and healthy thing to do. So I'm gonna do it again. This time we have much more furniture than we have had before, because all the other times we just sold everything and started afresh. Now we have really nice furniture, so I'm gonna keep them. But still, that first night, we are gonna sit on that floor, we are gonna eat takeaway, I'm thinking dumplings, and we're gonna watch The Firm. Traditions are meant to be kept, at least good traditions like this one. My stomach is growling, it's time to go get some lunch, and then David and I are gonna record a podcast. I'm having so much fun with the podcast. Thank you to everyone who is subscribing. It's fun to see how it is growing and that you guys really seem to love it so much, because it really is my favorite type of content to record. So I'm looking forward to that. If not, see you guys in my next video. Love you, hey-do, and puss puss.
What happened then?
They had their completely own Stockholm dance.
Like their own steps?
Yeah, you
Was
know.
it like line dancing?
No, but
they were all dancing together?
It wasn't choreographed. But you know the dance I'm talking about.
No,
You
I
know
don't.
the Stockholm, like,
No.
you know the...
Picking apples. Yeah, okay.